I never thought the day would come when my wife would look me in the eye and tell me she wanted a life that didn't include me. The words cut through the silence of our living room like a blade. I want to live for myself without you, she said, her voice calm, almost rehearsed, as if she had been practicing the line for weeks. For a moment, the world around me stopped. The ticking clock on the wall, the faint hum of the refrigerator. Even the air seemed to pause. My chest tightened, and all I could manage was a stunned whisper. "What did you just say?" She crossed her arms, leaning back on the sofa with an air of defiance. Her eyes didn't meet mine right away, but when they finally did, they were colder than I had ever seen them. "I've been living for everyone else. Our family, our responsibilities, this house. But I've forgotten what it means to live for me. And I'm done. I want freedom." I should have felt anger instantly, but instead, a wave of confusion and heartbreak washed over me. This was the woman I had promised forever to. The woman I believed would always be my partner. I swallowed hard, trying to steady my voice. And where exactly does that leave me? Her lips curled slightly, not quite into a smile, but something close. "That's the point. I don't want to live for you anymore. I want to find myself again." The words echoed in my head. Find myself. I knew what they really meant. I had heard enough stories from friends and colleagues to understand. It was never just about freedom. It was about someone else. I leaned forward, my hands gripping my knees so tightly my knuckles turned white. "Be honest with me, Anna. Is there someone else?" Her silence was the answer I dreaded. She shifted uncomfortably, her eyes darting toward the floor. My stomach sank. "How long?" I asked, my voice cracking. "A few months," she whispered. "It just happened. I didn't plan it." Didn't plan it. The phrase mocked me. Affairs don't just happen. They're chosen, fed, nurtured in shadows. And she had chosen to betray me. I laughed bitterly, though there was no humor in it. "So while I was working late, paying bills, making sure this house stayed afloat, you were out there finding yourself in someone else's arms?" She flinched, but her face hardened quickly. "Don't make it sound like that. I'm not happy, and I refuse to keep living like this just to protect your pride." Her words struck me harder than any physical blow could. My pride? What about the vows we made? What about the life we built? What about me sitting up at night, waiting for her to come home, never suspecting what she was really doing? I stood slowly, my voice trembling with rage and pain. "You want to live for yourself? Fine. Go ahead. But not in my house." Her eyes widened. "What? You heard me. If you're so desperate to find yourself, you won't be doing it under the roof that I pay for, in the bed that we once shared, or in the home where I believed we had a future." Her mouth opened as if to argue, but no words came. For once she seemed caught off guard. I walked toward the window, pulling the curtain aside just enough to see the dark street outside. My reflection stared back at me, a man who no longer recognized his own life. My voice softened, but the weight of finality hung in the air. "You already made your choice when you let him into your life. Don't expect me to sit here and pretend like nothing happened. If you want freedom, then take it. But understand, once you walk out that door, there's no coming back." She looked at me, her expression shifting between anger and fear. "You'd really throw away everything we had? Just like that?" I turned to her, my eyes burning. "No, Anna. You threw it away the moment you decided my love wasn't enough. Don't you dare blame me for a mess you created." Silence stretched between us, thick and suffocating. Her hands trembled slightly as she picked at the edge of a cushion, perhaps realizing the weight of what she'd confessed. Or perhaps realizing the comfort she was about to lose. For years I had given her everything I could, my loyalty, my support, my heart. And in return, she gave me lies, stolen moments, and a rehearsed speech about living for herself. I thought of all the times she had come home late, brushing off my concern with excuses about long meetings or traffic. I thought of the nights I fell asleep alone, convincing myself she was just tired. Every memory, every doubt I had ignored, now burned like acid in my chest. Finally she stood. Her voice quivered, but her chin remained lifted. "Fine. If that's how you feel, I'll leave." I nodded, though my throat tightened at the words. "Good. Because I won't live in a lie any longer. She walked past me toward the stairs, her footsteps heavy against the wood. I didn't follow her. I couldn't. Instead, I sank into the armchair, my body trembling from the weight of what had just happened. Upstairs, I could hear drawers opening and closing, the sound of zippers, the rustle of clothes being stuffed into a bag. Every sound was another nail in the coffin of our marriage. When she finally came down, suitcase in hand, she paused at the door. For a fleeting moment, I thought she might turn back, apologize, beg for forgiveness. But she didn't. She simply whispered, "Goodbye," and stepped out into the night. The door clicked shut behind her, and with it, the life I thought I had. I sat there for hours, staring at the empty space she had left behind. The anger slowly gave way to grief, and the grief to an aching emptiness I couldn't put into words. She had wanted freedom. She had wanted to live for herself. And now, I was left to live with the wreckage. But as the night dragged on, something inside me shifted. Yes, she had betrayed me. Yes, my heart was shattered. But I realized I wasn't the one who had lost. She had. She walked away from loyalty, love, and a home built on trust. I still had my integrity. I still had my dignity. And I would rebuild, piece by piece, without her. When dawn broke, I finally stood and walked to the front door. The world outside was quiet, bathed in pale light. For the first time in years, I felt a strange, fragile sense of clarity. She was gone. The life we had was over. But my story wasn't. And as much as it hurt, I knew this was the beginning of something new. Something that, unlike her betrayal, would be mine alone.